Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into this album's 20th anniversary, and it's from, well, one of my personal favorite bands of all time, but this album is probably one of their weakest albums or worst albums they've ever done. And yeah, you didn't think I would do a positive album review, right? But anyway, I'm getting off track. As you can see below the title, today we're going to be looking into Risk by Megadeth. Yep, the band's 8th album, released on August 31st, 1999, through Combat Capitol Records. Now, Megadeth doesn't need an introduction. One of the biggest bands in heavy metal, and as part of the big four of thrash metal, along with Metallica, Slayer, and Anthrax. And for me, Megadeth are still, like I said, are one of my all-time favorite bands. And for those of you who don't know, my all-time favorite album, period, is Rust in Peace. It's like period, like nothing will ever top that. And then of course, like they have albums before that, after that in the '90s, and those like with the classic lineup of Dave Mustaine, David Ellefson, Marty Friedman, who is, in my opinion, probably my all-time favorite guitarist, and the late great Nick Menza. But it was around after their previous album, Cryptic Writing, which I actually thought was way better than this hunk of shit. It was around that time when Nick Menza had left the band, I believe, for Kicked Out. I don't know. He said he had like cancer or something. Then, but I heard like another source side that he lied. But instead, playing drums on this album is Jimmy DeGrasso, which I think he's a pretty good drummer. I'm not gonna lie. That's like one of his that's one of my favorite drummers. I like him, and he pretty much can do better than Megadeth alone. But yeah, but this album doesn't even feel like Megadeth. I feel like they were trying to do something different, kind of like how Metallica did with when they experimented a little bit with the Black Album, but they just failed miserably. Like, I mean, I can respect when bands want to change and not like get stuck in a rut and try to do something different, but this album just doesn't do it for Megadeth. Like, this is a thrash metal band or a metal band, for Christ's sakes, but this album is just no. Yeah, without further ado, let's just dive into the album songs track by track. Let's start off with Insomnia, which is a kind of very industrial, I hear, but it's not too bad. I was hoping for something like decent in the first track, but nope. It's just shit right off the bat. Also, the lyrics to this song are just pretty ridiculous. If you have insomnia, screaming won't help, trust me. Screaming does not help one sleep. Well, I guess they need something like edgy that rhymes with dream, right? Yeah, that makes sense. This is like a literal identity crisis. I mean, it goes from new metal to country rock in an instant. Like, it's just, wow. Oh. Anyway, moving on to Prince of Darkness, which also shows a bit of Doom influence, but this song just sounds far more boring in my opinion, and which is one of the album's like main flaws. It's a fairly decent song, but it drags for far too long, and there's almost an atmosphere of like grunge, doom metal, and classic glam rock molded all together into one, which is, yeah. Anyway, next song is Enter the Arena, which is an unnecessary intro to the next song, Crush 'Em, which I don't even know why it's included as a separate track. But then we go into Crush 'Em, which is one of the most mainstream friendly songs on the album, but it's far from the best. And the lyrics are quite embarrassing and definitely feels like it's a kind of song that's intended to be played at like sporting events at the light. Anyway, moving on to Breadline, which this song has a bit of like a classic rock vibe and maybe something along the lines of ZZ Top. And honestly, this is actually one of the album's better songs. And this song has some really catchy riffs that, while poppy, just really work well, surprisingly. And the solo is probably one of the best yet. And although it's fairly simple, it's no surprise. The Doctor is Calling, Garbage, I'll Be There, which is one of the album's better songs. It has some very mellow bass lines and a very catchy chorus, and yet sounds somewhat different from like the rest of the tracks on here. Moving on to Wanderlust, which is another one of the album's best songs, and it showcases like a western bluegrass country rock hybrid sound. Yep, and you hear that right. And it's the song's chorus solo, and that section in the middle is just really sick. Another one of the album's best songs. Ecstasy, which is meh. Seven, which has some of the better guitar work on the album, including a really cool riff and an excellent solo during the outro. Then we go into Time, the Beginning, which is a somber piece of like acoustic music that definitely retains a grunge influence but doesn't sound weak or cheesy. And then Time the End, which is out of all the songs on the album, it may be the hardest. And there's even what sort of like resembles a speed metal riff at the beginning of the song. And this is the only moment that even slightly hints at Megadeth's classic sound. The solo of this song is also really, really cool. Now, overall, Risk by Megadeth is just one of the biggest missteps in their career, period. This album shouldn't even exist. And I know a lot of people are wondering, if you hate it, why do you have a copy? But as you can see, I gotten this like years ago, and it only costs like $2. I mean, $2 to own one of the worst metal albums of all time. Why not? I mean, look at this. I don't want to like run over it with a car, or like hit it with a baseball bat, or blow it up with dynamite. I just like to show that I have or just for collection purposes. I know it kind of sounds stupid and it just contradicts everything I said, but yeah. So overall, I'm gonna give Risk by Megadeth probably a 4.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of Risk by Megadeth, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and will upload two other reviews since they also have anniversaries, but that will be up tomorrow and the day after. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you all in the next video, and as always, keep it metal.